Alex Harper had always dreamed of studying in space. When he received his acceptance letter to the Intergalactic Academy, he could hardly believe it. He was one of the first humans ever to be allowed to attend such a prestigious school. But the excitement quickly turned to nerves when he arrived. The academy was full of students from different planets, species, and galaxies. Most of them were aliens who had advanced technologies and centuries of knowledge. As soon as Alex walked into the Grand Hall for the first time, he felt out of place. He was only human, and the aliens quickly made it clear that they didn't think much of his kind. On his first day, Alex sat down in his first class, hoping to blend in. He was surrounded by alien students who looked at him with curious eyes. Some whispered behind their hands, while others openly laughed at his human features. One alien with green skin and 4 arms scoffed loudly. How did a primitive like him even get in here? He muttered. Alex felt the sting of the words, but he tried not to show it. He knew they thought humans were backward, but he wasn't there to make friends. He was there to learn. The professor, a tall, blue-skinned alien with multiple eyes, walked into the room. She introduced herself as Professor Veller. She started the class by asking everyone to introduce themselves and talk about their home planet's achievements. Alex hesitated. When it was his turn, he stood up and said, "I'm Alex Harper from Earth. We've done a lot of things, like going to the moon, building cities, and we've been to space." The room went silent. Some of the aliens smirked. A few even snickered. One of them, a small, insect-like alien, raised a hand and said, "That's cute. How quaint." Alex's face turned red. He wanted to argue, to tell them about the countless human achievements, but he stayed quiet. He couldn't let their words distract him from his goal. He was here to show them that humans had something to offer, even if it wasn't obvious to them at first. The professor continued with the lesson, but Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the aliens were looking at him differently now. He knew it wouldn't be easy to prove himself, but he was determined to try. The next day, Alex sat in a new class. This one was about interstellar communication, where students learned how to understand and use alien languages. The professor, a large red-skinned alien with 3 heads, started the lesson with excitement. "Today, we will explore how to communicate with species that use telepathy," he announced. Humans are often limited in their communication. I wonder how Alex here will manage. Alex could feel the eyes of the students on him. They were curious, some even smirking. One of them, Lyra, an alien from a distant planet with shining metallic skin, whispered to her friend, "Humans can't even understand their own languages well. This will be fun to watch." Alex bit his lip. He knew this was going to be tough. He wasn't used to telepathic communication, but he wasn't going to let them see him fail. The professor explained that the lesson would involve a practice exercise where students would attempt to communicate with a sentient plant from a distant world using telepathy. Alex felt a pang of doubt. How could he, a human, connect with a plant that communicated through thoughts? The alien students, full of confidence, approached the plant with ease. They closed their eyes and reached out with their minds. Alex followed. Though unsure how to start, he closed his eyes and focused. He thought of Earth, of its forests, its animals, and its plants. He imagined the way trees seemed to talk to each other, the way they seemed to understand the world around them. To his surprise, he felt a small tug in his mind. It was the plant. Slowly, its thoughts connected with his own. Alex could feel the plant's simple but clear response. It was communicating, not with words, but with feelings. He realized that telepathy wasn't just about sending words. It was about understanding emotions and intentions. The professor looked surprised as Alex communicated with the plant in a way no one else had. "Impressive, Alex," he said. Most of the students here cannot connect so quickly. This is a skill that few possess." The aliens around him were silent. Lyra, who had once mocked him, now looked at him with something like respect. Alex had done it. He had shown them that being human didn't mean he was limited. He could learn. He could adapt. He just had to keep proving it. ********. The next week, Alex faced another challenge. The class was assigned to solve an engineering problem involving alien technology. The students were to work in teams, and Alex found himself paired with Ira, a tall, insect-like alien from a planet known for its advanced engineering. Ira had long, spindly limbs and sharp eyes that looked down on Alex with a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "Humans are good at building simple things," Ira said as they approached the task. "But we'll see how you handle something complex." Alex smiled, not letting Ira's words get to him. He had learned early on that it was best to ignore the insults. The project was to design a new type of energy converter using a rare mineral from Ira's homeworld. The mineral was difficult to handle, but it had incredible potential for energy production. Ira quickly jumped into the project, using the alien methods that were second nature to him. He focused on the theoretical designs and complex algorithms that Alex didn't fully understand. But as the hours passed, Alex noticed that something was off. The calculations didn't seem to add up. Ira's approach was efficient, but it lacked a human touch and understanding of how simple, practical changes could make a big difference. "Ira," Alex said cautiously, "I think we need to simplify it. This approach is too complex. Maybe we should focus on how to make the design work with fewer moving parts." Ira scoffed. "You don't understand, human. We don't simplify things here. We build them to be perfect." Alex thought for a moment. He had always been good at looking at problems from different angles, especially when things didn't work as expected. "I'm not saying we should make it worse. I'm saying we need to make it more reliable. If we complicate it too much, it might fail when we use it." Reluctantly, Ira agreed to try Alex's idea. They adjusted the design, focusing on the parts that were most important. After hours of work, the new prototype was ready for testing. The professor arrived and examined the design. "Impressive," he said, looking at the working model. "This energy converter is efficient, and it will last longer than expected. You two did well." Ira, who had been skeptical, looked at Alex with a mixture of surprise and respect. "I didn't think your idea would work," he admitted. "Maybe humans do have something to offer after all." Alex didn't say anything. He had learned that action spoke louder than words. He had proven that thinking outside the box could solve problems, no matter how alien the challenge. *********** Following week, the Academy introduced a new challenge, a combat and strategy simulation. The students were divided into teams and assigned different roles. The goal was to work together to outsmart and outmaneuver their opponents using advanced tactics and technology. Most of the students were eager, especially the alien teams who were used to dealing with warfare and complex strategies. Alex, however, wasn't sure what to expect. His knowledge of combat was limited to basic training back on Earth, but he knew he had to try his best. His team consisted of 3 aliens, each from different species. One was a swift, 4-armed alien with sharp reflexes named Zira. Another was a hulking creature with thick armor named Volter. The last was a quick-thinking, stealthy alien named Learn. Zyra immediately took charge. "We'll use our speed to get close, then strike fast," she said, her alien eyes gleaming with confidence. "We'll overwhelm them before they have a chance to react." Volter grunted in agreement. "Strength and power will win this. Let's crush them." Alex didn't speak at first. He knew these aliens were strong and they had advanced technology at their disposal. But something didn't feel right about charging in without a clear plan. Instead of following their lead, Alex suggested, "What if we try a different approach? Let's pretend to charge in, but we'll actually set a trap." The others stared at him. "What do you mean?" Zira asked, skeptical. "I think we can use their own strategy against them," Alex explained. "We'll make them think we're coming at full force, but instead, we'll hide and ambush them from behind." It was a risky plan. But Alex had learned from human history that sometimes the best way to win wasn't by being the strongest, but by outthinking the opponent. His team reluctantly agreed to try it. The simulation began, and their opponents, a group of skilled alien soldiers, immediately advanced toward Alex's team. Zira and Volter charged, just as planned. But instead of attacking directly, they quickly hid behind a nearby structure. Lern and Alex remained in position, watching carefully. When their opponents drew near, Alex gave the signal. Suddenly, Volter and Zira sprang from their hiding places, attacking from the rear. The alien soldiers were caught off guard. They never expected the ambush. In the end, Alex's team won the simulation. Zira, Volter, and Lern were stunned. "Your plan worked," Zira said, her voice filled with awe. "I didn't think it would." "But it did," Alex smiled. "Sometimes, thinking differently can make all the difference." The aliens now looked at Alex in a new light. He had proved that brains could be just as important as brawn. And in this academy, that made him just as valuable as any of them. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. The next challenge at the academy was a cultural exam. Students were asked to study and understand the customs and traditions of various alien species. For many of Alex's classmates, this was easy. They were born into these cultures and had spent their whole lives learning about them. But for Alex, a human from Earth, it felt like an impossible task. The aliens' customs were so different from anything he had known. The room buzzed with excitement as the professor, a tall alien with translucent skin, handed out the exam papers. Alex glanced at the first question. "Explain the mating rituals of the Zendi species," he frowned. How was he supposed to know that? The Zendi were an ancient species with customs no human had ever truly understood. Around him, his classmates were writing quickly. Lyra, the alien who had once mocked him, was scribbling down her answer with ease. She turned to Alex and smirked. "I'm sure your human culture has interesting rituals," she said, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Alex ignored her, trying to focus on the exam. He knew he wasn't going to be able to memorize everything about every alien species. But then he remembered something his father had once told him. It's not always about knowing everything. It's about understanding people, whether they're human or not. Taking a deep breath, Alex decided to approach the exam differently. Instead of memorizing all the alien rituals, he would focus on understanding the core values behind them, the emotions, the reasons, the human connections that might exist in any culture, no matter how different. For the Zendi, Alex knew they valued harmony above all else. Their rituals were deeply connected to peace and balance. He wrote about the way their mating rituals were not just about reproduction, but about uniting two beings to create balance in their environment. He added how humans, too, had similar customs rooted in partnership and connection. The next question was about the Ixtar, a race known for their deep psychic abilities. Alex wasn't sure how to approach this one either, but he knew that the Ixtar valued trust and mutual understanding. He wrote about how their society believed in sharing thoughts to build deeper connections, much like how humans rely on trust in relationships. As Alex finished the exam, he felt a sense of pride. He didn't know all the details, but he had used his ability to understand emotions and values, something humans did well. When the exam was graded, Alex was surprised to see a high score. Professor Veller gave him a nod of approval. "You have an interesting way of looking at things, Alex. Perhaps the human way is more useful than I thought." Lyra, who had overheard, was quiet. Alex had done it again, proven that being human, with all their differences, wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was a strength. A few weeks later, Alex faced another test. This time, it was a debate. The professor had divided the class into pairs, each of which had to argue about a major issue in intergalactic politics. Alex was paired with Lyra, the same alien who had mocked him since the beginning. She was known for her sharp mind and her quick wit, and everyone in the class expected her to win. Lyra's eyes sparkled as she looked at Alex. "This will be fun," she said with a grin. "I hope you've studied hard. You'll need it." Alex didn't respond, but he had prepared. The topic of the debate was about the future of intergalactic relations. Lyra immediately started talking about how the powerful alien species should continue dominating the galaxy and that smaller species like humans should remain in the background, learning from the advanced civilizations. "Humans," she said, speaking with authority, "are still primitive. They need to focus on learning rather than making decisions about the galaxy's future." Alex could feel the sting of her words, but he stayed calm. He had learned not to react to the insults. Instead, he focused on the core of the debate. When it was his turn, Alex stood tall and looked at the class. "I may be human, but I don't believe in domination. I believe in working together," Alex began. "Humans have proven that cooperation is stronger than power. The United Nations on Earth is proof of this. We don't have to conquer others to succeed. We can lift each other up." Lyra's smirk grew wider, and she quickly countered, "But cooperation doesn't win wars or guarantee safety. Power is what keeps you safe. Look at the Zenthi. They have no enemies because they are the most advanced species in the galaxy. The weak should learn to follow the strong." Alex took a deep breath. He had prepared for this. The Zenthi might not have enemies, but that doesn't mean they're truly safe. Peace through fear is not peace. Humans have been through wars. Yes, but we've also learned how to come together after them. We've learned the value of peace over power. The class was silent. For the first time, Lyra seemed unsure of herself. The professor, a quiet observer until now, smiled. "Interesting points from both of you," he said. "But Alex's argument about peace through understanding and cooperation is more powerful. Sometimes strength lies in unity, not in power." Lyra sat back, her expression a mix of frustration and respect. Alex had done it again. He had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't just in their technology or strength, it was in their ability to learn, adapt, and work together. The day of the final trials arrived. The Academy's instructors had designed a series of tests that would challenge the students physically, mentally, and emotionally. The trials were meant to separate the strongest from the weakest, the smartest from the slowest. Alex knew that the alien students had an advantage. They were stronger, faster, and had abilities that humans could only dream of. But he wasn't going to let that stop him. He had proven time and time again that being human didn't mean he was weak. As the trials began, Alex found himself facing a physical endurance challenge. The task was to run through a difficult obstacle course designed to test speed, strength, and agility. His alien classmates, including Zira, the fast and agile alien with 4 arms, and Volter, the giant alien with thick armor, charged forward with ease. Alex knew that he would be left behind if he tried to keep up with their speed. But Alex wasn't focused on winning the race. He focused on finishing. He paced himself, carefully navigating the obstacles, using his human ability to stay calm under pressure. There were times when Zira and Volter were far ahead, but Alex didn't rush. He kept his steady pace, overcoming each hurdle climbing walls, crawling through tunnels, and jumping across wide gaps. Halfway through, Alex noticed that Zira had stumbled. She had tried to jump over a large gap but misjudged her landing. She lay on the ground, her forearms struggling to push herself back up. Volter had also slowed down, his heavy armor making the course more difficult for him. Alex, still moving at his steady pace, saw an opportunity. He quickly reached Zira and offered a hand. "Need help?" he asked. Zira looked up, surprised. She hesitated but then accepted his hand. With Alex's help, Zira was back on her feet. They didn't talk much, but the small act of kindness seemed to mean a lot to her. Together, they finished the obstacle course, with Alex crossing the finish line just moments after Zira and Volter. He hadn't come first, but he had finished strong. Later, when all the students gathered to hear the results, the professor looked at Alex with respect. "Alex, you may not have been the fastest or the strongest, but you were the most determined. Your steady resolve and your willingness to help others set you apart." Zira nodded. "You didn't just finish the course. You showed us what it means to never give up." Alex smiled. "It wasn't about being the best. It was about showing up, doing his best, and helping others along the way. In the end, that was what mattered most." As the academy year drew to a close, the students faced their final assignment. The professor announced that they would have to work together in groups to solve a universal problem that affected many species in the galaxy. Alex's team was once again composed of alien classmates, including Ira, the engineer who had been skeptical of him from the start, and Lyra, the intelligent but proud alien who had always looked down on him. The problem was a complex one: how to create a sustainable energy system that could be used by all species, regardless of their technological level. The aliens had their ideas, but Alex knew that the solution would need a different approach. He had seen firsthand how many of the aliens thought only in terms of their advanced technology, ignoring the simpler solutions that might work for everyone. As they began brainstorming, Ira immediately started proposing solutions based on complex alien machinery. Lyra suggested using rare materials from her home planet, which would require advanced mining and technology. They were both focused on what they knew best, their own species' strengths. But Alex wasn't sure this would work for everyone. "Why? Don't we look at what humans have done?" Alex suggested. "We may not have the advanced tech you all have, but we've created energy solutions that are simple and accessible. Things like solar power and wind turbines. We don't need to rely on rare materials or complicated systems." Ira and Lyra both looked at him, unimpressed. "Solar power?" Ira said, laughing. "That's too basic. We need something much more advanced." Alex stood firm. "But that's the point. We need a solution that's not just for the advanced species. We need something that can work for everyone, something that can be adapted to different environments and resources." Lyra folded her arms. "So? You're saying we should make things easier?" "That's not how we solve problems." Alex didn't back down. "I'm saying we should make things better for all species. A simple solution that everyone can use is better than a complex one that only works for the few." The group continued to work together, and slowly, Alex's idea started to take shape. They adapted the basic concept of solar and wind energy, combining it with some of the more advanced technologies the aliens had. The result was a system that could be built with simple materials and adapted to different environments, no matter how advanced or primitive the species was. When they presented their solution to the professor, he looked impressed. "This is innovative," he said. It combines the strengths of all species, proving that sometimes the simplest solutions are the best. Alex smiled. He had once again shown that being human wasn't about being the most advanced, it was about finding a way to make the world better for everyone. Asterisk, 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 asterisk on graduation day. Alex stood before the class, nervously adjusting his robes. It was hard to believe how far he had come. Just a few months ago, he had been the subject of mockery, a human among aliens who thought his kind was too primitive to ever succeed at the academy. Now he was one of the top students, respected for his unique perspective and problem-solving skills. The professor, Professor Veller, called the students up one by one to receive their certificates. Alex watched as his alien classmates, many of whom had once dismissed him, stood proudly to receive their recognition. Lyra, Ira, Zira, and the others all looked confident, their successes at the academy clear for everyone to see. When it was Alex's turn, he stepped forward and smiled. The professor handed him his certificate, and the room fell silent. Everyone was waiting to see what Alex would do next. The once overlooked human had surprised them all, and now he was standing before them as an equal. Professor Veller cleared his throat. Today, we recognize not only academic achievement but also growth. Alex Harper, though a human, has shown us all that strength doesn't lie in advanced technology or power. It lies in the heart and mind. He has proven that being human doesn't make you weaker, it makes you unique, adaptable, and capable. The words hit Alex in a way he wasn't expecting. He had always known that humans had something special to offer, but hearing it from the professor and in front of his classmates made him feel proud. Lyra, who had once been one of his biggest critics, stepped forward. "Alex," she said, her voice soft but sincere, "I never thought I'd say this, but you've taught me something. You've shown me that strength isn't just about power or knowledge. It's about how you use what you have to help others and make things better." The others nodded in agreement. Ira, who had been cold and distant at the beginning, now offered Alex a rare smile. "You've earned our respect," he said. "Maybe humans aren't so primitive after all." Alex smiled back, his heart swelling with pride. This was more than just a victory in the academy. It was a victory for humanity. He had shown that even in a galaxy full of powerful and advanced species, the human spirit could stand tall. As the ceremony ended, Alex walked out of the hall, feeling like he had truly earned his place among the stars. It wasn't just about being the best. It was about showing up, staying true to who you are, and finding strength in your differences. And that was something no one could ever take away from him. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. After graduation, life at the academy changed. Alex had earned the respect of his classmates, but now he had a new challenge. The professors, recognizing his unique abilities, offered him a position to lead a new intergalactic project, one that would bring together species from all over the galaxy to solve the energy crisis that was affecting countless worlds. Alex had never imagined being given such an important role, but he felt ready. The same determination that had helped him succeed in every class now fueled his desire to make a real difference. He knew that this was his chance to prove to the galaxy that humans had something valuable to contribute. When Alex arrived at the meeting for the new project, he was greeted by leaders from different species. There was Zira, the fast alien who had once laughed at him, Ira, the engineer who had doubted his ideas, and Lyra, who had ridiculed his culture. They all stood before him, now respecting him, ready to work together. "You've surprised us all, Alex," Zira said, her voice genuine. "You've shown us that sometimes the answers aren't in our technology, but in how we approach the problem." Alex smiled. "I think the answer is simple: working together. If we can combine all of our strengths, no matter how different they We can make something that benefits everyone. The team got to work. They didn't just rely on one type of technology or one species' strengths. Instead, they took the best parts from each race's knowledge and used it to create something that no one had imagined before. Alex's ability to think outside the box, to see solutions where others saw problems, became the heart of the project. Over time, the project grew, and Alex's leadership style focused on collaboration. Respect and understanding became a model for others to follow. Slowly, more species began to look to humans for inspiration. They realized that Alex was right. Sometimes the simplest ideas were the most powerful. One day, as Alex stood in front of a group of students preparing to give a lecture on intergalactic cooperation, he saw a familiar face in the crowd. It was Lyra, who had once mocked him. Now she looked at him with admiration. "I guess we were wrong about you, Alex," Lyra said quietly. "You proved us wrong. You showed us that humans have the power to change things." Alex smiled. "It's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving that we all have something to offer. Even the smallest voice can make a big impact." And with that, Alex knew that humanity had truly earned its place among the stars.